February 1st, 2012. Samantha Koenig had been missing for 19 days. Investigators pulled the last ATM transaction on her account. The card was used 3,000 miles from home. In Texas, in Georgia, in Massachusetts, the withdrawals moved east, then disappeared. It took them 8 more months to understand what they were looking at. They were not chasing one crime. They were chasing a system, one that had been running for over a decade. His name was Israel Keys. He was 34 years old. He was a construction contractor. He had a daughter. He went to church. He lived in Anchorage, Alaska. His neighbors knew him as quiet, reliable, good with his hands.
You can decide anytime.
What his neighbors did not know, Israel Keys had been planning murders in states he had never lived in, against people he had never met, for years before he ever acted on them. In 2009, somewhere in upstate New York, Israel Keys buried a bucket. Inside, a firearm, cash, zip ties, tools for a crime he had not yet committed. The same year, he buried another cache near Essex, Vermont. He would not return to it for 2 years. The FBI called them kill kits. Keys called them caches, standard equipment, firearm, ammunition, restraints, cash, buried in sealed containers, in locations he had selected months, sometimes years, in advance. He flew to the city. He never drove from Alaska. Flying left a shorter trail. Once he landed, he rented a car. He paid cash where possible. He left his phone at home. He did not know the names of his victims before he arrived. He did not choose them for any reason. He would drive through neighborhoods until he found a house that felt right. Lights off. Car in the driveway. No dog.
But we thought the memory lane trip up the lake would be more interesting, maybe for both of us.
Special Agent Jolene Golden of the FBI's Anchorage Division described it this way. Everything was well thought out, she said. There was nothing spur of the moment. My sense was that he knew every time he came in what he was going to give us that day. The FBI would later map his confirmed movements dating back to 1997. He had traveled to over 12 states. He had robbed 11 banks to fund his crimes so he would never need to use a credit card in a city where a body was later found. June 2nd, 2011. Israel Keys boarded a flight in Anchorage. Destination, Chicago. From Chicago, he rented a car. He drove 1,000 miles northeast. He crossed into Vermont on June 8th. He had buried his cash in Vermont 2 years before this night. He knew exactly where it was. He retrieved it. He drove through a neighborhood. He chose a house. Their names were Bill and Lorraine Currier. Bill was 49 years old. Lorraine was 55. They had lived in Essex for years. They were not chosen for any reason. They were simply home. Keyes entered through a window. He was inside before they knew. He restrained both of them. He was in complete control within the first 2 minutes. He moved them to an abandoned farmhouse nearby. What happened there is documented in Vermont State Police records. Bill Currier was shot. Lorraine Currier was strangled. Their bodies were never recovered. Israel Keyes buried them in a location he refused to disclose. He died before the search could be completed. Vermont State Police continued to investigate. He drove back to Chicago. He returned the rental car. He boarded a flight back to Anchorage. He was home within the week. He left no physical evidence at the scene. For 18 months, no one knew his name. February 1st, 2012, Anchorage, Alaska, 9:30 in the evening, Tudor Road. A drive-through coffee stand called Common Grounds. One employee was working the closing shift. Israel Keyes had been following her. He approached her by road. He was armed. His white pickup truck was parked across the street. He forced Samantha into the truck. He drove her to his house. He killed her the following morning. He then left Alaska. He boarded a cruise ship. He was at sea while her family reported her missing. When he returned to Anchorage, he sent a ransom note. He demanded $200,000. Attached was a photograph. In the photograph, Samantha appeared alive. She was not alive. Keyes had staged the photo after her death. He had posed her body to make investigators believe she was still breathing. He used her debit card. He withdrew cash from ATMs Texas, Georgia, Massachusetts. Investigators flagged the withdrawals. They pulled the surveillance footage. They had a face. The card had moved 3,000 miles from Anchorage. East, then south, then north. The pattern did not match a fleeing suspect. It matched a man on a schedule. In Washington State, Keyes admitted to murdering 4 people there, a couple between 2001 and 2005, and 2 other separate victims between 2005 and 2006. He stated that he used an anchor to sink at least one body in Crescent Lake. The Deschutes River, Oregon attack. In the summer of 1997 or 1998, Keyes abducted and sexually assaulted a young girl aged 14 to 18. He later released her, but admitted that he felt he had been too lenient and decided not to let any victims survive in the future. Other cases. There were speculations related to the 1996 disappearance of Julie Harris or the 2006 murders of Mary Cooper and her daughter Susanna Stodden in Washington, but Keyes denied or provided no direct evidence of a connection. Keyes buried dozens of 5-gallon paint buckets across the United States. Inside were guns, ammunition, rope, cash from bank robberies, and most notably, Drano, a drain cleaner. His purpose with Drano was to pour the chemical over the victims' bodies to accelerate decomposition and erase any DNA traces. He meticulously planned this. burying the buckets years before actually choosing a victim in that area. During his military service from 1998 to 2001, Keyes confessed to a fellow soldier that he wanted to kill him. However, due to his taciturn and disciplined demeanor, no one suspected anything. He utilized his military survival and navigation skills to travel thousands of miles without leaving a digital trace, always keeping his phone off and using only cash. Disgusting devotion to the victim, Samantha Koenig. The Samantha case was the epitome of depravity. The fake ransom photo. After killing Samantha, Keyes left her body in a frozen cabin for 2 weeks while he went on vacation with his family. Upon returning, he sewed her eyelids open with a needle and thread, applied makeup, and placed a newspaper next to her body to take a photo as proof she was still alive to demand a ransom. Listening to music while committing the crime. He admitted to playing loud music in the cabin while torturing and murdering the victim to drown out the sounds, and then calmly went into the house to have dinner with his girlfriend and daughter as if nothing had happened. During interrogations, when describing the details of the murders, FBI agents noted a chilling phenomenon. Keyes' body broke out in goosebumps, and the hairs on his arms stood on end. He didn't recount the events with remorse, but rather as if reliving the moment with extreme exhilaration. He frequently laughed or casually sipped coffee while talking about strangling his victims.
We already all know how this ends, so I don't need you guys.
Let's just talk about it. Let's see if we can resolve it.
A method he preferred because he enjoyed watching life slowly fade from their eyes. March 30th, 2012, Lufkin, Texas, a routine traffic stop.
Not find what we're looking for would have made this move a lot quicker, but now we're to the point where we're going to have to...
Officers ran the plates. Then they ran the driver's face against ATM surveillance footage from the Anchorage investigation. It was the same man.
Investigation, and that when we get time, you can give them my card.
That's Dave. Dave.
Brian.
I saw you.
Now, come here.
Israel Keyes was placed under arrest. He did not resist. He said very little. He had been killing for 11 years. He was stopped by a debit card.
1/7/1978.
Over the following 9 months, FBI agents and Anchorage police detectives conducted more than 40 hours of recorded interviews with Keyes.
That's all right, it's your decision, but we just want to let you know they're going to set it up next week. And remember, once you get the computer, you can look right now if you want.
He was cooperative, selectively. He enjoyed the interviews. Special Agent Godden later noted, "I never got the sense that he accidentally told us something. My sense was that he knew every time he came in exactly what he was going to give us that day." He confirmed 2 victims by name, Bill and Lorraine Currier. He described 7 or 8 more. He would not name them. He would not say where they were buried. He used them as leverage.
It's true, the body is, the name doesn't give you the body.
Yeah,
We believe there are 11 victims total, Agent Godin said. He told us it was less than 12. He was quick to correct us if we said something wrong. There were several times we said, "You're 11 victims," and he didn't correct us.
Some of the things that they're concerned about and that they're getting questioned about by,
The FBI mapped his confirmed travels to at least 12 states. A victim buried in upstate New York in April 2009. A couple in Washington State. Others he described only in fragments. One cache was recovered at Blake Falls Reservoir in the Adirondack Park. It had been buried there for years. Firearms, restraints, cash, waiting. Israel Keys operated by a single principle. If there is no connection between you and the victim, there is no case. He built his entire life around that principle. He buried his tools years in advance in cities he had not yet decided to visit. He flew in. He committed the crime. He flew out. He left no witnesses. He left no bodies that investigators could find. The only thing that stopped him was a debit card used at ATMs across 3 states, captured on surveillance cameras that had already been flagged. He made one mistake in 11 years. One. The FBI's files on Israel Keys remain open, not because the case is unsolved, but because the full case has never been assembled. 8 people are waiting to be identified. 8 families still do not know. The investigation continues. He had killed for at least 11 years. He had traveled to at least 12 states. He had buried caches in locations, some of which have never been found. He told the FBI he would have continued if he had not been caught. He had no remorse. None at all. Somewhere, there are caches still buried. The FBI has asked the public for help. If you have information about Israel Keys' travels between 2001 and 2012, contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI.